Hey guys, this is Cade Lamb with Fear Not Do Right, and this is the Fear Not Do Right podcast. I'm here with, I don't know if you're more notorious or legendary, but your accolades precede you. The one and only Kyle Rittenhouse.
Cade, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you and your listeners. I'm excited to get on with this.
Yeah, you've had an incredible journey in the last, how long has it been now? 2 years?
Yeah, a little over 2 years.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, me and all my buddies were really jealous. So we were in Iraq at the time. And, when you're in Iraq, you think of war and being in a war zone. And, we trained for so long, so much to have the opportunity to just punch that time card, right? So when we saw, dude, this 17-year-old kid in Wisconsin is out there getting action when we're not. A lot of my buddies were like, "Yo, dude, we should be home right now. We should." Because it was so frustrating to be overseas when all that stuff was going down.
Yeah, that's understandable on your end, but I was just a 17-year-old kid. I never wanted to have to end up taking somebody's life. It's nightmares that haunt you. I don't think anybody should ever have to go through that, but I did what I had to do to protect myself. And it was something like a war zone, but I was down there to help people. I was down there to provide first aid and medical attention. And I was actually helping some of the rioters who were injured that night.
That's amazing, man. I can't imagine what it'd be like it'd be one thing, for like us. We train, we prepare, you cultivate that mindset, but to just have it snatch you up like that, it's got to be intense.
I've talked to a lot of people. I don't think it is something that you can train for. You can train for the physical aspect of it, but you can't really train for the mental aspect of it.
How have you dealt with that?
Therapy really helps. Therapy is probably your best friend, talking to people and just having a great support system, having a lot of friends, a lot of family around you, and knowing who you can trust, who you can talk to. Because believe me or not, you cannot trust everybody in this world. There are a lot of evil people on both left and right.
Well, and especially when you become such a sensation. What's been the hardest part? Obviously there's the trauma that follows something like that. Not just doing what you have to do in a situation like that, but the events that cause that situation, I can imagine would be just as rattling.
It's hard. It's difficult, and I don't really know. There's not really it's difficult to deal with. You just pray, and then you put your faith in God, and then He helps you get through it. I think God has been my biggest strength through getting through all of this.
The way you've gotten through it has been, I've found it. We kind of had this conversation the other day in the back room where I was, I asked you how has it been working with your team, and how'd you find that team? But you've just been cowboying this.
Now I'm getting a team together right now. Former team I got rid of. We'll go into that at another time, and we'll talk about that after the show. But I'm not going to get too much into it. But former team were pretty bad advisors.
Yeah.
And now I'm building myself up on my own, hoping to get some great people around me that I can trust.
Well, you've just been knocking it out of the park, man. The composure and the wherewithal to be, you just maintained yourself really well with the questions, the interviews, the publicity, all that stuff, especially at your age, is not that. Just you can't equip for that.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think there's some people out there that ask for this lifestyle and they train for it and they prepare, such as public speaking. Mm-hmm. I haven't done any public speaking coaching. I haven't done any media prepping. It's just the grace of God that has given me the ability and the strength to be able to tell my story and tell my story right.
Right.
And of course, my lawyers did help a little bit with preparing me to testify and going through mock trials, but that doesn't prepare you for the media.
Yeah, I don't think you can get any more legendary than 4 Doors More Whores. Or what was that, your TikTok or gamer tag?
That was my TikTok. The state assistant district attorney Binger decided that he was going to ask about my TikTok, and he was like, this wasn't he thought he had his case right there. Same with the Call of Duty. He's like, I have it. This is it. I'm going to win this. he's gonna lie, and I'm gonna go down this loophole, and then I'm gonna get his testimony thrown out because he's not gonna want to admit that was his TikTok. Yeah, guess what, Pinger? I don't lie.
Well, it's crazy how, like, I mean, as I've observed, I mean, you've had a pretty compelling story, and it's been amazing to watch and to, especially recently and, through the community, and then now getting to know you, seeing how remarkable that journey actually has been. What would you say have been like the key elements to making it through such an ordeal? Not just through what you went through in Kenosha, but like
After Kenosha,
the fallout has been just as bad.
Yeah, I mean, knowing who I am as a person, knowing what my friends, my family, and the people close to me think about me, that's whose opinion really doesn't matter. Like these people out here that call me a murderer or racist, their opinion does not matter. Their opinion is completely irrelevant. And what they need to do is they need to go back and watch the trial and look at the facts, because I'm personally not going to change any of their mind. So why should I try to cater to them and make them happy when I should just make myself happy and the people who love and support me happy?
My dad always told me this growing up, but lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. And it's just as this podcast, it's the Fear Not, Do Right podcast. All right. When you do the right thing, you really don't have a whole lot to worry about.
Absolutely. I know God's protecting me, and I know God's going to do what's the right thing for me. There's people out there that want to kill me, that want to hurt me. I'm not cowarding. I'm not hiding behind a wall. I'm going to be out there, and I'm going to be loud, and I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm going to tell people how I feel, and I'm going to voice my opinion and be an activist for the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, for the people who can't be a voice for themselves, essentially.
Well, I mean, anybody who would come after you, especially physically, has got the wrong idea. You definitely more than likely have a higher body count. Not to make light of it, but I mean, especially after the fact, being in the military, you got all these friends, you're able to talk to people who've been there, done that, done what you've had to do. And no matter the circumstance or the situation, there's nothing that, like you said, there's nothing that can prepare you. But after the fact, it's like, what are they, the fuck around and find out.
I mean, I really hope to God I never have to defend myself again. It's never easy. It's not something I ever want to do. That's why I'm hoping, that's why I walk around with people. I don't want to be alone. I don't go anywhere by myself. I don't go to Walmart by myself. I don't go to Target. I'm just starting to get comfortable going out in public on my own with somebody around me.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, it was difficult. It was not easy, but I'm just getting there to where I can. There's still a lot of credible death threats, but I got to move on with my life. I got to do what I want to do. Somebody wants to do something to me, it's God's plan, it's God's will.
Right. How's it been out, since, you've gotten through this trial, you were going to come out here to Phoenix and to ASU, correct?
Yeah. So I made the mistake of announcing where I was going to go to school with some bad advisors in my past. I'm not going to make that mistake again, tell people where I plan on going to school, but I am going to be going to school. I'm on a gap semester right now. But
nice. Where are you located right now? Not specifically, but just
great state of Texas.
Hell yeah. Can't mess with Texas, right?
Yeah, we love Texas. Yeah. It's our own little country. We just need to wall off Austin.
What's sad is that hill country out there is unbelievable.
So beautiful.
But yeah. And I mean, there's a great social life out there. It's great. It's too bad we couldn't have you out here in Arizona, man. We got, they say everything is bigger in Texas, but I personally believe everything's better in Arizona.
I'm going to have to dispute with you on that one. I like Arizona. I think Arizona is very beautiful, but I think Texas, everything is bigger and better in Texas.
The better is bigger in Texas.
Yes.
So what kind of directed your decision on that?
Freedom, God-loving patriots, and Texas, those are just my people. Those are my people down there.
Yeah. Is it, would you say because I mean, obviously you had this fight, right? And you came out on top. And honestly, that was miraculous. I'm sure your faith and testimony in that has to be phenomenal. But you talked about doing this next fight, this next round, if you will, with
I'm currently being sued in the civil court in the Eastern District of Wisconsin by the family of Anthony Huber, the guy who hit me in the head with a skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
His family suing me with about 20 other police departments, and that has taken a toll on me, and that has been very stressful. Mm-hmm. And I am hoping to litigate this and have my day in court where I'll win again.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, man, you keep to the truth, and that's about all you can do.
As Mark Richards once said, my attorney, my client has nothing to hide and the truth will set him free. And I live by those words. I have nothing to hide and the truth will set me free.
Mm-hmm. I know you've been talking about doing like different podcasts and shows and stuff. Are you like, I feel like that's kind of the next step, especially as you go to fight for Second Amendment rights, First Amendment rights, so on. I mean, what's going to be Fourth and Eighth and every other amendment right out there.
Yeah, I spoke at the Second Amendment caucus dinner, and I want to be an activist for the Second Amendment. I want to be an activist and for getting gun laws passed or having other laws passed. That's what I want to do.
I mean, see, gun laws are interesting though, because passing gun laws doesn't really. I mean, I would rather say getting gun laws revoked.
Sorry,
you're good, man.
They're trying to take away gun laws, but I am all for 18 to 20-year-old carry. I am for 18 to 20 constitutional carry. Look at young college women beat, raped, murdered on a daily basis, and our government is doing nothing to protect them. They should be allowed to own a firearm, and they should be allowed to go to school, have that firearm with them, so if God forbid something happens to them, they have the means to defend themselves and save their lives. And same with other things like school shootings. Look at that, for example. If we had more campus carry, that threat could be stopped a lot quicker than waiting, 6 to 8 minutes on a police response.
Did you happen to watch the Uvalde footage?
Where the cop just stood there with his cell phone?
Oh my gosh, dude. Well,
think of this, how they wouldn't let parents into the school. And if a teacher would have been carrying a firearm, that guy could have been stopped in seconds instead of minutes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even the first responders that did show up immediately, there's kind of like a pace and a rhythm. I'm sure you kind of been able to experience that, but there's a pace and a rhythm to when you go through that kind of stuff. The victory is always going to go to the guy who gets after it and gets it done.
I mean, yeah, anybody that's willing to save our children, protect our children, it's great. And I think we need to put more guns in schools. I think arm our teachers, train our college students. If we have an 18-year-old high school student, train that 18-year-old high school student, make it a class in school, make it mandatory.
My grandpa always tells me about how in his wood shop class that they would bring their rifles and such into class and work on the varnish and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we pause?
Sorry about that. But I it's one of those things where, back in the Old West, when everyone walked around with a gun and everyone there, it was that Wild West dictation of if you were going to run your mouth, there were consequences, right? If for your actions, there were consequences. Likewise, if you walk into a school with bad intentions, you're going to suffer those consequences.
Absolutely. I mean, detaining them or God forbid, no, everybody deserves life. Mm-hmm. I believe in that solemnly. Everybody deserves life. But if you're going to go in there and you're going to shoot our children, you're going to kill our children or innocent people in a mall. Look at the Elijah Dickin case. Mm-hmm. The threat needs to be stopped, and they need to be neutralized before they can harm any more people.
Absolutely, dude. Well, that was impressive. I mean,
10 shots, 8 shots on target with under 10 seconds, 40 yards away, shoving his girlfriend out of the way.
Yeah, across a court. Have you
tried the Dickin
court
drill yet?
I have. Did you do it?
I did do the Dickin drill. It was pretty fun.
Let's check this out. What are you usually running on the range these days?
I think this was an M&P, but I use a Glock 19.
Glock 19, classic, timeless.
You can never go wrong with a Glock 19.
Have you tried out the staccatos yet?
I haven't tried out the staccatos. Nope, I've tried out the staccatos. Yeah, I have. They're like paperweight, not paperweights, paper light.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's like cheating. It's, you go from like your standard Glock to a staccato, and it's so different. All right, let's check this out. Oh, you're with Brandon?
I don't think they show.
Damn, dude. So do you still train?
I used to, like, I would say I put more rounds to, like, I've shot more now than I used to, but now I'm going like the Second Amendment activist way, and I like my range time.
Yeah, dude. Well, when you come down here again, let me know, and we'll burn it down.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, because especially when your dad's the American sheriff, you get certain privileges and hookups, and
Your dad is a complete badass, and I will say it here, and I will say it again.
I know you guys just followed each other on Instagram a few days ago.
Yeah, just a couple days ago. I actually think I met him last year. I didn't get a chance to take a selfie. I really wish I did. I met him when I was here, and it was great. It was awesome.
See, he was saying the same thing. He's like, "Oh, dude, I ran into Kyle Rittenhouse. We should have gotten a picture." But
I really wish I would have gotten a selfie last year. I'm gonna have to go out to dinner with him sometime.
Dude, say the word, we'll get it done. I actually happen to know him very well, so
very well.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. Like, he's again, same two-way advocate. We always talk about how much of a damn shame it is that you used to be able to order a Browning automatic rifle out of a Sears catalog. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Dude, you used to be able to purchase pretty much any surplus World War II weapon system
Pre-1986, correct?
out of a Sears catalog. And it would come straight to your house.
Now you can't do that because this ATF, you need a tax stamp, you need to do this, and they are coming after our guns, and they're not going to stop until we have it. So we need to get out there. We need to fight for them. We need to elect politicians who vote pro-gun laws, pro-life laws, and just fight for what's right, such as Carrie Lake.
Oh my gosh, we love Carrie here. What would you say would be like if you were to make calls, right? Because you've been immersed in this kind of political pundit.
Well, you need
world.
to be careful because there's a lot of politicians out there that will say they will do one thing and do the other. We call them rhinos. So there's a lot of conservative people like that. I'm not going to list any names, but the people I'd really go out for vote for is Lauren Boebert, Thomas Massey, Congresswoman Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and there's a few others out there that are really great. Those are the people I trust a lot. Those are the people that are going to get stuff done.
Well, you got to be vocal. One of my very good friends, Madison Cawthorn. I think you guys have met.
I met Madison Cawthorn before.
Yeah,
last year actually.
Yeah, he. I mean, he's the same way when it comes to all that stuff. And it's, there's a few spots that because I've looked into it a little bit. I think there's a few spots where it really counts. Like one, I mean, obviously policymakers, but not necessarily at a federal level, but at a state level, it makes all the difference. And second, and I may be a little biased here, but sheriffs. So I don't know if you know this.
No, absolutely. So sheriffs have the right to enforce laws.
Yes.
So if we elect the right sheriff, so like for your dad, for instance, he can tell people to his deputies, no, we are not going to enforce that law. That law is bullshit. 18 to 20-year-olds should be allowed to carry. So you are not to arrest anybody who is caught with a firearm on their body because I don't believe in that. They have the right to do that.
Absolutely. Well, and not only that, but any federal agency has to, if they were to any federal agency, wherever they operate, they have to go through the approval of the sheriff, or they have to at least report it up. So it's like, oh, ATF is active in my county? Absolutely not. Yeah, double birds, right?
Yep.
And that's where
I have to move to your dad's county.
Dude, do it. The real estate actually is pretty solid down there right now.
Really?
Yeah, really. You can make really good real estate moves, and I mean, it's just the place to be. You get, because you do have that going on. COVID was a perfect example where it was like Pinal County will not be playing these Mickey Mouse games. We're not playing reindeer games.
No, I'm not going to throw a mask on. I'm not going to go like on the airplane. Oh my gosh. I got in so much trouble. I wouldn't fly for the longest time. One, because I was on trial. Two, but when I had when I had the opportunity and you had to wear a mask, I wasn't going to strap a mask to my face and then pull it down, eat, and pull it back up. I wasn't going to do that.
In a tube of aluminum in the air with circulated air that's pressure, like
in a pressurized cabin.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious? We're playing these games right now?
Like, so what is the mask going to do?
Yeah.
What has the mask done?
Did you grow up pretty conservative, or was that kind of...
I grew up in Illinois. I didn't grow up very conservative. I personally have been conservative. I've always been a Republican. I've always liked Republican policies. I'm just out and strong, like a diehard conservative now.
Yeah.
Like I'm a far right Republican.
What? I mean, I'm guessing the whole experience and everything kind of helped that process, or was a catalyst for that process?
An eye-opening to our George Soros prosecutors, the people prosecuting innocent people, how they're coming after our guns, they're killing our babies, they're taking away our voices, and they're censoring us on social media.
Yeah. So in your fight, right? You're fighting for all this stuff. You wanted to be that voice. Are you, I mean, you're too young still to run for anything. I'm
just turning 20 in a month. So.
20 in a month. You heard that. Send him some birthday love. I mean, I'm sure he would like, I'm guessing by this conversation, ammo, anything of that nature. Lucas T-Rex Arms, send him some stuff.
What I really want for my birthday is for Carrie Lake to have her seat back in the governor's office.
There you go, man. That would be, oh my gosh.
Then maybe I'll move here.
Yeah,
when Arizona stops stealing elections.
Dude, well, it's just crazy. It's like you really expect, you really are going to tell me that there's nothing going on when the Secretary of State in charge of elections wins the election for governor. That's crazy. Put your head in an oven.
Sounds a little biased to me.
Well, hopefully it does, so you can move down here, man, to America, to real America.
I'll tell you what. I will relocate to Arizona when Carrie Lake is recognized as governor by the United States. When she's recognized, I'll move down here. In my eyes, she's governor right now.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's just you have someone who actually cares about people, and that. I mean, I don't know. It's just you don't really meet people with as much grace and moxie and tenacity like you do with a lady like her. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got a lot of the same things going on, man. Like I said, the fact that you've been able to withstand the bombardment has been insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually met Carrie Lake for the first time a couple days ago. I met her in the airport. She was on my plane. My girlfriend pointed her out. And then I tapped her husband on the shoulder. I was like, hey, can I say hi to Miss Lake? And then he was like, yeah, it was awesome. It was a great experience.
Yeah. That's so cool, man. It's crazy to think like, you come to something like AmFest here and you would assume like all these people know each other, but no one really knows each other at all.
Yeah, no. Like we just all run, like we meet here. We meet at AmFest.
Yeah. Is this the biggest event that you do?
Yeah, this is the biggest event I've been to. Last year, I had the privilege of being on a panel with some great people. This year, I'm just here to tell my story and meet some great people.
Nice. Did you go to SHOT Show last year?
No, I didn't go to SHOT Show last year.
What about the NRA convention in Houston?
I don't feel very fondly about the NRA. I don't like the NRA. They tend. I'm not gonna say things, but I think there's a lot better organizations that I prefer, like NAGR, GOA,
FPC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the NRA just seems to have it. They didn't defend me and my stuff. They remained silent and didn't say anything when all these other organizations came out loud, and this directly affected gun owners. My case. Have
you been able to work with anybody who's been in similar situations to yourself?
I haven't. I really want to meet Elijah Dickin.
Yeah.
He's some guy I really just want to shake his hand and buy him dinner.
Yeah. That'd be, it's like it's almost like one of those support groups. You need, like you said, therapy, but a lady with a degree hardly can understand what you went through compared to someone who's been what you've gone through.
People actually need to understand it and go through it to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's different than, like veteran communities, because veteran communities, it's like you get a little bit of it, but it's completely different. Because you're not in there on a mission with a team. You're out there by yourself, just acting.
Yep.
Doing it right then and there with there's not really a whole lot of foreplay going into a situation like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are your biggest things that you're focusing on moving forward? I mean, as you fight, like, you advocate for certain people in office, but what are the things that you are trying to do or trying to get started moving forward?
Winning the civil lawsuit, hopefully within the next couple months, next 30 days, I have lawsuits filed. We've been working hard on those, and we're right there. We're almost ready to file. So hopefully those will be coming in January. Litigating this case with the family of Anthony Huber, winning this, and just becoming an activist, becoming vocal, and hopefully doing more speaking engagements.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have like that compelling story, and you have like I said, the composure to tell it. It's pretty, again, dude, the way you've been able to handle this has just been amazing to me, especially at your age. Do you think you'd ever run for office?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm too young right now. I haven't made
How old
that
do you have to be?
decision.
How old do you have to be?
I think 25 at the youngest, right?
Jamie, pull that up. 25?
I know it's 35 for president.
President naturally born, 25. I'm not certain.
Is it 25?
I don't think so.
I think for Congress it's 25.
Would you run in Texas? Dude.
I'd probably run in Florida.
Florida? Why Florida?
Because I think they really need reform on their gun laws.
Florida?
I think they need to lower the ages for rifles, pistols to 18. I think they need to open constitutional carry. And DeSantis said he'll do it if it's introduced to him.
Yeah.
He'll sign it.
Interesting. I didn't know they didn't have that. See, I'm a firm believer that every state is a constitutional carry state. If you're not a little bitch.
For governor in the state of Arizona, it is 25. And Secretary of State, it is 25. California, I can go run for governor in California at 18, what Google says.
Let's get this boy elected, people.
Vote for Kyle Rittenhouse, governor of California.
I guarantee you'd have more favor than Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but they would steal that election from me.
I don't know. I feel like they'd be pretty. I don't know. Gavin Newsom's part of that whole. When do you think he's part of that whole like Hillary Clinton Foundation? Like,
oh, so they'll just hire a hitman to come after me.
Well, I would say, like I said earlier, it's like, dude, you're going after the Kenosha Kid. He's been there, done that. You really want to step to him, but I'm sorry to say, but the Clintons have stacked a lot of bodies, and
so
you can't find them.
Hire a hitman against me.
Oh man! So winning these lawsuits, winning these litigation, all this stuff.
Winning these lawsuits is very important. It sends a message that you cannot call somebody a murderer. You can't call somebody a white supremacist. You can't call somebody a racist without there being strong, clear evidence, especially after a verdict is read of not guilty, and then doubling down on those things when they are absolutely false because they ruin people's lives. And the media has been getting away with it for way too long. And look at Facebook. We're going after Facebook because they take people down that say Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. They silence people's voices. They censor them. And that's not free speech. You can't do that. Section 230, the Communications Decency Act, does not allow them to do that.
Yeah. Did you throw some you were going after, what was it, LeBron James?
Yeah, the Lakers are actually here in town tonight playing. I gotta admit, when I have no standing, it's not defamatory to say somebody was crying when they were crying on the stand, or saying Lemonhead's fake crying. That's not really defamatory, so I'm just gonna have to take that one with a grain of salt. But I will challenge LeBron James to a one-on-one in basketball. I'm sure I'll beat him in a basketball match because he'll just trip and start crying on the ground or something. Like
a football flop or a soccer flop?
Yeah, soccer flop.
Soccer flops. Well, you got that white boy riz, you know, like you're underestimated until
the
you
funny thing
pull
is,
up and
I have
ball up.
no coordination at all. So
Really?
no coordination. I can barely dribble a basketball.
You didn't play sports or anything?
I can throw a football and catch a football and like hit a baseball, but I can't like basketball. I can't shoot the basketball for anything.
Really? I found that interesting. I mean, usually, like, especially Midwest, it's like pretty.
Hockey.
Oh, hockey? Were you a hockey player?
I wasn't like I never played on a team, but that's what we'd do. When the ice froze in the wintertime, we'd get our skates on and we'd go play on the lake.
Do you miss the cold weather? I mean, you're here in Arizona right now.
This is cold. Well, Texas, it's frozen, but when I left Texas, it was 85 degrees, and apparently it's in the teens right now.
Oh my gosh. See, I'd be curious to, you know, as it like, was there anything that you had as a, you know, not that you are a young man, but, you know, in your come up as a adolescent that you would say really prepared you for the shit that was going to come down later?
No, nothing could prepare anybody for this.
No dad lessons saying like, you know, like screaming at you while you hold the light under the hood.
Yeah, nothing could really prepare anybody for this, in my opinion.
Wow. I mean, even just like being able to show up and do what you were doing out there, you don't just come up with that overnight, I'd imagine.
I mean, I was down there just to provide first aid, and I was asked to be there. I didn't just show up. I was there with a buddy. I didn't want him to be alone, and then I was forced to defend myself. Like, I didn't really plan on going down there. It just happenstance.
Yeah. I watched a lot of the trial, read the story. What was like the thing that set all that off?
So I was putting out fires, and I was asked to go down there to put out a fire at the car source. Mm-hmm. And then what happened is I was ambushed and then chased down and then cornered, and Mr. Rosenbaum tried to grab my gun. Mm-hmm. There's about 100 people behind me, and his hands were on my barrel, and that's when I defended myself as he was ripping it away from me out of my hands.
Right. And wow. Dude, so it just was kind of like a freak thing that you just got caught up in.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't defend myself, I'd be dead. He would have taken my gun from me. He would have killed me, and he would have probably killed many of other people.
Dude, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. I know there was what was it? Some Marine. He happened to be around one of those things that someone
here
broke
in Austin. Oh, there in Austin.
Was it
Sergeant Ranger, the Ranger who was the Uber driver, and then the guy pointed an AK-47 at him, and he pulled his pistol and defended himself.
Very tactful. I just noticed that. But he defended himself.
Yep, and then
every time.
I believe he was later charged.
Yeah, there was another guy where maybe it was in Minnesota. The riot like broke into a police car, took the rifle from the police car, and then some dude just mollywopped him and was like, "No, you are not taking that." And like,
I have no idea. I want to see that video though.
It was on video. It was pretty crazy. He was like some jagaloon, you know, broke into the police car. They were burning it up and stuff. Stole the rifle out of there.
Do they not know what happens when bullets heat up? Especially when the magazine is in the gun. Do they not know? They go boom still?
Yeah, you know, I found that one out the hard way. Well, look, so it's kind of funny. My boys are probably going to not like me saying this, but I'm out of the military now, so I can say whatever I want, more or less. So we were in Iraq.
Did you throw a bullet in the fire?
No, I didn't throw anything anywhere. But we were in Iraq behind the tent, and we had like a fire going back there because it was wintertime and it's cold. And
I heard it gets freezing cold at night there.
It gets super cold. So we're out back. There's a fire going, and like next to the fire, there's like a platform that had this pole going up that was holding up like on whatever. And one of our buddies, he's like, he got up there, he's goofing around, acting like a stripper pole. And the other one pulls out a magazine and starts shucking rounds on him like he's making it rain, like dollar bills. And one of the rounds bounces off him as he's twerking into the fire. Dude, you've never seen guys move that fast. And it went pop, or did it go pop?
It went bang.
It did something, and it was like people got their pee-pee smacked. but you find out.
Yeah, no, especially like because like the barrel is what trajects that bullet. That's where that direction of where it's going. So if it heats up in that car, those bullets are going however that gun's laying. The bullet is going out of that barrel,
Right.
and then maybe I don't know. I've never done this. Maybe it'll chamber another round and keep heating up. I don't know.
Well, I think it depends. So like if it's a magazine, like the magazine, if the round cooks off in the mag, it's going to go out the mag. Because the barrel and the chamber is what directs the pressure. It keeps the round intact. Otherwise, it just blows out the side. So unless it was that first round in the chamber, it'd probably just be pretty sporadic and then go all over the place.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something for science to figure out.
Not a science experiment I'm going to be performing.
I am not a scientist, but I am kind of stupid. I'm down if you are.
No, I like my digits.
Well, I mean, we go out into the desert, throw an AR in the fire, and see what happens.
You film it for me.
For science.
Yeah, film it for me, and I'll watch from a distance.
Dude, you've hung out with Brandon Herrera. You know about science.
Yeah, but his science doesn't get me hurt, like injured.
His science didn't get you hurt that time.
We reviewed some AKs. We looked at guns. We maybe blew up some tannerite, but I was also about 500 yards away behind glass.
There's been a lot of crazy stuff that's happened, but what has been the coolest silver lining, if you, what has been the best thing to happen? Meeting Trump? Did you get to have a conversation with him?
Yeah.
How was that?
That was great.
Really?
Yeah, I spent like an hour with him in Mar-a-Lago.
Really?
It was awesome.
Wow, that's a kind of a big deal.
It was right after my acquittal last year. It was a great time.
He's so cool. Like he's just like
so
he's very even, just if you can see just very cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, very even-headed.
Laid back.
Level-headed. Yeah.
And it's crazy. I know people hate him, and there's a lot of controversy between him and DeSantis and the whole thing right now. But man,
who do you vote for over Trump or DeSantis?
I have a lot of thoughts about this.
I think we all do.
And there's a lot of there are many strategic avenues of approach in the 2024 presidential campaign.
Trump DeSantis 2024.
I think that's a good ticket. I really like, depending on what happens with Carrie, I think Carrie Lake could do a absolutely phenomenal job on either one of their tickets. Kristi Noem, she is also another powerhouse lady that just gets it done.
The question is, though, who do you get in Arizona once Carrie Lake is vice president for one of them?
There's people out there. Not me, but people. But man,
your dad maybe? Your dad gonna run for governor maybe?
No. First of all, it'd be a pay cut for him where he's at now. And then you'd have to move into the governor's house, and then that's you're not in Pinal County, and that kind of sucks. Dude, you come run for governor out here.
Maybe one day.
Governor Rittenhouse, dude. Like Queen Creek, Arizona. One of the main roads is Rittenhouse Road. You're native.
Where's the governor house? Downtown Phoenix? Or?
Somewhere around here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
I mean, but you're also the governor. You can do whatever you want.
So I don't have to live in the governor house.
You can live wherever you want, dude. You can go live down in
As governor, I am changing the capital.
Nah, you just fly to the capital.
Fly to Cap.
Yeah, fly to the capital. It's no big deal. It's not that far.
Oh.
It's only taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, right?
But you know what? As a taxpayer, I'd put my dollars behind that.
Well, thank you. I will let you know if I run. I don't think I am, though.
We'll just invest in some FTX and move it into the Kyle Rittenhouse Foundation.
At Rittenhouse Square?
At Rittenhouse Square?
Isn't that where there's a Rittenhouse Square, and you said there was a Rittenhouse Road out here?
There's a Rittenhouse Road out here. Yeah, it's out in Gilbert, Queen Creek area.
Awesome.
Yeah, you should go, check it out.
Yeah.
Take a stroll down your family lane.
Oh, yeah, I just walk down that street.
Yeah. So you got your, as your stuff is coming out and all this law stuff, what would you tell people, right? From Kyle Rittenhouse, how they can be better Americans, better gun owners, and more prepared gun owners for the future?
Well, I would tell people my age to get involved in politics, do your research. Don't go necessarily voting liberal or Democrat. Figure out who you like. Vote for the person whose policies you agree with, and I hope they align with mine because, of course, I'm going to be biased.
Yeah.
But figure out what you like. Go to Turning Point conventions. Go to these things where they talk about free speech and just be an advocate for what's right. Learn about firearms. Learn about firearm safety, and just be yourself. Do what you want to do, honestly.
Right. I think that's, it's weird because you hear it so much, like that be true to yourself. I'm sure my mom has told me that a billion times. She says, be true to yourself, honey, and girls will like you, or whatever it is. But, I think really, especially a man like yourself, and I think you've definitely earned the right to, as a young dude, be a man. But, hearing that from you, I think it really says something.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of people out there that just want to fit in with the crowd. They just want to do what the other person's doing, do what they think is cool, go out there, smoke marijuana, have sex, and do all these other terrible things that you shouldn't be doing. And be yourself, be a leader, don't be a follower, and you'll do good things in life.
That's awesome. So where can we look out for you, Kyle? Where do we see what's coming next?
You can go follow me on Twitter. This is Kyle R. This is Kyle Rittenhouse on Instagram. And this is Kyle R. on Truth Social.
When are you going to get a blue check mark?
I have one on Instagram.
Oh, really?
I mean, on Twitter. Facebook. Instagram doesn't want to give me one because, they like to censor people's stuff.
Interesting.
I think I'm still shadow banned on them because I'm only at like 230,000 on them.
Only.
And I'm almost at 1 million on Instagram, so it's a little weird.
Oh, really?
I mean, Twitter.
Twitter,
Instagram, I'm shadow banned on, I believe.
And then the other one was Truth Social.
Yep.
How's that one going?
Pretty good.
I haven't gotten on there yet.
I haven't looked at my numbers there yet.
Awesome. And what can people expect? What is the next big thing that you really want to do?
Well, I just released a video game.
Oh, really?
RittenhouseGame.org. You can go play the new turkey video game. That was a Thanksgiving special. But the next big thing, just expect lawsuits coming.
Lawsuits coming?
Expect lawsuits, expect accountability. And hopefully I'll be out here and you'll hear my voice more.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate you sitting down with me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's been, something that I've wanted to get done for a long time. You've, like I said, the poise that you've had, the composure has been remarkable, and it's been great to sit down with you, Kyle. And I'm looking forward to getting to run into you again anytime you come down to Arizona, man. Let me know. We'll take care of you.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you guys for listening. If you want to support the podcast, go to fearnottheright.com. We got merch and shoes and coins and all sorts of things. It's pretty neat. If you want to follow the podcast, go to Fear Not Do Right on Instagram. We're not on Twitter, but there is a Facebook. Really appreciate you listening. Until next time, fear not and do right.